The Jewish Story. This week's story from the Holocaust is taken from the book Remnants of Auschwitz, The Witness and the Archive, written by Georgio Agamben. Aldo Carpi, professor of painting at the Academy of Brera, was deported to Gusen in February 1944, where he remained until May 1945. He managed to survive because the SS began to commission paintings and drawings from him once they discovered his profession. They mostly commissioned family portraits, which Carpi produced from photographs, but there were also requests for Italian landscapes and Venetian nudes, which Carpi painted from memory. Carpi was not a realistic painter, and yet one can understand why he wanted to paint the actual scenes and figures from the camp. But his commissioners had absolutely no interest in such things. Indeed, they did not even tolerate the sight of them. No one wants camp scenes and figures, Carpi notes in his diary. No one wants to see the Musselmanner. Other witnesses confirm this impossibility of gazing upon the Musselmanner. One account is particularly eloquent. A few years ago, the English film shot in Bergen-Belsen immediately after the camp's liberation in 1945 was made available to the public. It is difficult to bear the sight of the thousands of naked corpses piled in common graves or carried on the shoulders of former camp guards, of those tortured bodies that even the SS could not name. And yet, since the Allies intended to use the footage as proof of Nazi atrocities and make it public in Germany, we are spared no detail of the terrible spectacle. At one point, however, the camera lingers almost by accident on what seems to be living people. A group of prisoners crouched on the ground or wandering on foot like ghosts. It lasts only a few seconds, but it is still long enough for the spectator to realize that they are either Musselmanner, who have survived by some miracle, or at least prisoners very close to the state of Musselmanner. With the exception of Carpi's drawings, which he did from memory, this is perhaps the sole image of Musselmanner we have. Nevertheless, the same Cameron, who had until then patiently lingered over naked bodies, over the terrible dolls dismembered and stacked one on top of another, could not bear the sight of these half-living beings. He immediately began once again to show the cadavers. As Elias Canati has noted, a heap of dead bodies is an ancient spectacle, one which has often satisfied the powerful. But the sight of Musselmanner is an absolutely new phenomenon, unbearable to human eyes. Please pass on this story.